Okay, let's look at another example of inheritance. Now here, let me read out the problem statement. Accept and display the student details. The students can be of two types: a resident student who stays in a hostel of the college and a non-resident student who stays outside. For all the students, roll number, name, address and telephone has to be accepted. In case of resident student, apart from the above, his or her hostel number, room number and the fees has to be included. In case of non-resident student, apart from roll number, name, address and telephone, the local guardian's name, address and telephone has to be included. Okay, so basically you have a student. Now the student can be of two types: a resident student or a non-resident. So generally non-resident students would be coming in the morning and going back in the evening. So I have already typed the program. Let's go through it. Okay, so I have iostream.h, conio.h, these are standard ones. Time.h I don't require. Okay, I forgot to remove it. Okay, string.h we require. Now we will see as we go on. So remember, basically the concept is student. So I am creating a class called student. It has some private data members. I have roll number. Now, till now what I have been doing is I have not used a long int roll number or any other attribute for any other data member. I have not used long. Now here long provides a much more number of digits that I can use to store the roll number. Okay, so that's the reason why I have put it as a long int. Then we have char student name. I am putting a restriction of 25 characters. Similarly, name. Now this of course is the name of the parent. This is the address of the parent and this is the telephone of the parent. Now this is required for all the students, right? So for all the students, roll number, name, address and telephone. Name, address, telephone. Okay, roll number, name. Okay, I forgot to mention one more. Father's name, right? Father's name, address and telephone. Okay, so now that I have included that also in the problem statement. Now, when it comes to the functions, remember we require a constructor. Now I am going to have a default constructor in which I am going to accept it from the user. So enter the roll number, enter the name, enter the parent name, enter the parent address, enter the telephone number. So these things I am accepting it as part of the constructor. Okay. Of course, if I am accepting this in main, naturally those entered values will be passed to the constructor. So there in that case I will be using parameterized constructor. Then I am having another function, that is display student. Now this is going to display it in a formatted manner. And here again in student class I am just displaying roll number, name, parent name, address and telephone. So accept these details and display this, and that is exactly what was required as far as the problem statement is concerned. Okay, so now coming to, now remember the student can be of two types: resident student. So let's start off with resident student. So I have class resident student and I am inheriting from student publicly. Now in that, if you notice, I have got three private data members. Remember, hostel number, hostel fees and hostel room number, they are specific to resident student. They are not applicable for non-resident student. So I have included only it only in resident student class. And public, again I have a constructor in which I am accepting these values right? I'm accepting these values and storing it in the data members. Okay. Or what I could have also done was, instead of doing like this, I could have directly hostel number. I don't know, I might have been trying something else and then forgot to. So hostel fees. What happens is this reduces the code. Okay, hostel room number. There's no point in me accepting it in one variable and immediately storing it in the data members. So I can remove all these things. I can remove this declarations as well. Okay, so I'm accepting this and storing it in the data members. Plus I also have a display student, right? And in this display student, the first thing I'm doing is calling the display student of the parent, right? Display student of the parent, in which case first it will display the roll number, name, parent name, address and telephone, and then it will display the hostel number, hostel room number, hostel fees. Okay. Now coming to the next one, that is class non-resident student, public student. I am inheriting from student again, and this time I am again creating 3 data members: name, address and telephone. Remember, in this case, in non-resident student case, these are actually the names, name, address and telephone of the local guardian, right? So strictly speaking, I don't need to give 2 different variable data member names. I could have done as I could have said G name, G address, G telephone to distinguish it from the parents. And here I could have said parent P name, P address, P telephone. Okay, but if I don't distinguish it, what happens is there might be a problem, because when I say name here, now which name will it display? It will always display the local one, that is of this class itself. Why? Because the parents data members are private, right? Since they are private, they are not visible inside this class, in non-resident student class. But since the same name is available locally in this class itself, it will display this name, which is what we want. We want the guardian's name, address and telephone number to be displayed. Okay, let's take it sequentially. Okay, and then I have the constructor for non-resident student, and then I'm accepting these and storing it in the data members. Then we have display student. Now in display student, again, what am I doing? Apart from those lines to beautify the output, what I'm doing is calling the parents display student, in which case it is going to display the roll number, name, father's address and telephone number. But apart from that, what it is also going to do is display the guardian's name, address and telephone. Okay, so there is a difference between these 2 types of students, and those differences are being captured in the child classes. Whatever is common is being taken care of at the parent level. Now, by doing all this, our main class, that is the class which gets executed first, becomes simpler. So clear screen, I am creating a student type, and I am accepting whether the student that the user is going to enter, student details is going to enter, is he a resident student or a non-resident student, R or N. Here I am checking if the student type is R, then I am creating an instance of resident student. So RS is an object of type resident student, and using that object's reference, I am saying RS dot display student. So which display student gets called? Since this we are talking of resident student, this one gets called. resident student, this is resident student. So its object has been instantiated as rs, and this rs dot display student, this is getting executed. So this will get executed, this line will get drawn, then this function will be called on the parent, or rather parent's function will be called. So in the parent, roll number, name, parent name, address and telephone is going to be displayed. Then the control will come back here, it will display this line, it will display the hostel number, hostel room number and hostel fees, and display the line and come back here. Okay, and then gets it will wait for a key press. So that's what happened. Now if he has typed n, then this will be false, so it will go to else. Here if it is n, yes, so a non-resident student type of type will be created. So NRS is an object which is of type non-resident student, and I am calling the display student function of non-resident student. So let's go to non-resident student. Now this is non-resident student. Again display student gets called, this line gets called, the parents display student function is called, where it displays the roll number, name, parent name, address and telephone is displayed. Now in case of a non-resident student, there is guardian, local guardian. So here the guardian name, address and telephone is being displayed, and then this line is being displayed and the control comes back here. Then else. Now suppose it was neither R nor N that he has entered, in which case it is a invalid student type. Either enter either R or N, and it will wait for an input, key press and then stop. Okay. Now let's actually run it and see how it looks like. Okay, run. Now let's type something, neither R nor N. Let's say U. Enter. Invalid student type. Enter either R or N. So this is perfect. Now let's run it, and let's say R. Enter. Now ideally it should not matter whether it is capital or lowercase. So can we do something by which we can avoid that? Yes, what we can do is we can say to upper of stud type, right? To upper, and we can say to upper, so that before comparing it, it actually converts it to uppercase. This requires C type. Include C type dot H. Now let's see. A, okay. Run R, enter roll number. Okay, after that it should actually okay, control C, enter. Okay, so after accepting this resident or non-resident, it should clear the screen. So again, or what we can do is okay, let's have another clear screen here. Okay, so let's say R, roll number, say 45, enter name, Deepan, let's say parent name, Deepak, address, Raghavendra, layout. Remember, if you want to give spaces in between Raghavendra and layout, then you can't use CIN. You have to use get line. Okay, so since here the focus is on inheritance, we'll ignore it. Okay, now let's give some telephone number. Okay, enter the hostel number, let's say 2, let's say hostel fees is 5999, hostel room number is 23. Okay, so roll number, name, parent name, address, telephone, hostel number, room and fees, everything is being displayed. Remember, this is for resident. Okay, now let's run it again, and let's say N. enter roll number, let's say 345, name, let's say again Deepan, and let's say Deepak, enter the parent address, let us say Milk Colony, okay, and let's say 98989898. And now you see, because he is non-residential, it is asking for the guardian's name as well, right? So let us say Kirti, okay, guardian name Kirti, and guardian address is let us say Raghavendra Layout, right? And guardian's telephone number is 88888. See, roll number, name, parent name, address, telephone, guardian's name, address, telephone. In this case, it is not asking for the hostel number, name, hostel number, room number, and the fees. In the case of resident student, it didn't ask for the guardian name, address, and telephone. Do you realize the importance of inheritance? What it does is it allows us to go into much more finer details without creating a very complicated class. Here student class has only 5 or 6 data members and the functions related to them. Then you have resident student, which is containing only data members pertaining to resident student. Non-resident student, data members which are specific to non-resident student. Okay, and which one we require? We just instantiate the appropriate type of student. Okay, so let's save this, let's close this, and let's